Hi everyone, and welcome to week 12. In the video today, we will cover differential analysis. Differential analysis is the evaluation of two or more alternatives. It's really concerned with any differences in cost and revenue. So this means that sunk costs are irrelevant to your analysis. Let's go ahead and get started with our problem set. Wool Corp buys sheep wool from farmers. The company began operations earlier this year, and it's making decisions on its product offerings. You've been hired as the production manager. Currently, Wool Corp makes 3 different products. We have raw clean wool to be used as stuffing or insulation, wool yarn for use in the textile industry, and extra thick yarn for use in rugs. For the past year, Wool Corp has experimented with its third product, which is the extra thick rug yarn. The company wishes to consider whether to continue or discontinue manufacturing and selling this product. You decide that you're going to prepare a differential analysis of the income related to all 3 products. So we've been given this information here. We know what our sales are for each one of the different segments, our cost of goods sold, we know what our gross profit is, and our operating expenses. So we see that our operating income or loss is, so our raw wool has an operating income of $36,000. Wool yarn has an operating income of $38,750, and our rug yarn actually is posting a loss of $54,000. So our job is to go through and prepare a differential analysis to determine whether we should continue or discontinue this rug yarn. All right, so you can see that I've already laid this out. What I wanted to focus on was my revenues, the revenues that are changing, right? And I also wanted to focus on any costs, and it's broken up in this analysis as variable cost and fixed costs. And then I want to see what my profit loss is based on just those 3 things. So we go ahead and pull in our rug yarn. So I just reference the sales just to pull in the revenue. I know that if I discontinue the rug yarn, I have 0 revenue coming in. So my differential effect is that my revenues will decrease by $167,000. Now I want to look at my variable costs. And we know that with the variable cost, as long as I'm in production, I have variable costs. Once we discontinue operations, the concept is I would no longer have those variable costs. So I went ahead and picked up the variable cost in the cost of goods sold, and I also picked up the variable cost in the operating expenses. And I know that if I discontinue, I have 0 variable costs. So now I have $90,000, which is positive, that I'm avoiding cost that to put into the analysis. And then the last thing that I want to pull in is the fixed cost. And with the fixed cost, we have to assume that even if I discontinue the rug yarn, I still have a portion of that fixed cost that I have to now move from. I'm just going to highlight this real quick. I now have to take these fixed expenses that are currently allocated to the rug yarn, and I will have to reallocate these 2 numbers back into the raw wool and the wool yarn. So this cost will continue to exist. And you can see that I pulled that information from those 2 cells. So now I just want to take my revenues and I want to subtract out all of those costs. If I continue, then I'm probably going to continue to post a loss of $54,000. If I discontinue, though, you can see these differential effects over here. I actually will post a larger loss if I discontinue the rug yarn. So it's actually to my disadvantage to get rid of this segment, even though I'm posting a loss every single year. So this is one of the examples of performing a differential analysis. Again, you want to look at all of the things that changed. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.